Hi, everybody. Thank you. Welcome to day 3 of 4 Days Career Breakthrough Challenge. We're on day 3. Wow. Time is flying away. So let me know. Today I want to do something different. I actually want to know you. Let's see how many people are here. Tell me in the comment section where you're tuning in from, if you're live with me. Tell me where you tuning in from. Say hi. Have you been participating all 3 days, or is this your first time joining the 4-day career challenge? Let me know in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. And I'm doing an audio version of it. Last month, I ran this 4 days career challenge, and it was amazing. Everybody loved it, and I thought I'll do one again, and this time I'm doing it on LinkedIn. And I wanted to, the only thing I miss is to be honest, I loved it on Zoom because people were more interactive. I can see who's in the training with me. People were showing up. So it's kind of like doing it on LinkedIn Live is kind of a little bit different because I don't know who's here, who's in the audience, who's joining me. So please don't be shy. Let me know in the comment section who you are, just pop in and just say hi. And if you've been joining all 4 days, amazing. Please tell me if you've been here all 3 days. Now, if you missed any of the sessions, not a problem. You can grab all the replays. I'm going to drop the link with the workbooks. So there are workbooks to go with it. So download, grab the workbook. I know many people are having major breakthroughs. When I ran it last time, and even today, even this time, I've had people messaging me privately, telling me how the training's impacting them, even how it's impacting their mindset. And so it's been amazing to see the transformation people are going through with this challenge. Hello. So amazing to see that. Let me know in the comment section. Again, please feel free to, don't be shy. Introduce yourself. Let me know where you're tuning in from. What's your name? And I know there's a delay. So I don't know who this person is. Hello, but feel free to, introduce yourself. And if you hear a baby in the background, apologize. It's my baby nephew. Okay, so let's take a moment and let me know how this challenge is working out for you. If you haven't grabbed the workbooks, I dropped the link. Please grab it. I've dropped it again. Please grab the workbooks that go with the training. We are on day 3. And also, please, with the same link, you'll be able to catch the replays as well. Yesterday, I had an amazing guest. So it was amazing session yesterday. And today, we're going to continue on with the next piece of the training. Let me just take a moment to share my screen. Let me know if you're pumped for day 3, because today is day 3, man. We've been at this for 3 days straight. Let me know if you're doing the homework from day 1, day 2, and today's day 3. Make sure you're doing the homework that's signed so that you don't fall behind. Let me know if you've been doing the homework. How is that going for you? Please do let me know, okay? If you have any questions about the homework, I know somebody had a question yesterday, and I told them they can hop on today and they can ask their question, and we'll put a pin on it. So please, Oren, if you're tuned in, let me know. Okay, so we're all set to go for day 3. Okay, so if you are here, welcome. I would love to welcome you to the training. And I also want to take a moment to celebrate you because showing up is half the battle. Being present is half the battle. Showing up to anything, especially when something is free, it's hard to show up because it's free, right? When we have to buy tickets or pay for something, we're going to make sure we're there. But when it's free, I've seen this happen multiple times. We tend to kind of like don't take it seriously. We want to be there, then life happens and gets in the way and we don't commit to make the effort. So if you are here and you are been watching and you're here, and even if you catch the replays, I want to take a moment to celebrate you because you deserve to be celebrated. So I want to go over what we've covered so far. Day 1, which was December. Don't look at these dates. This is a training that I did back in November too. So we started this Monday, which was December 16, and we covered the first part was to identify what you're an expert in. Then day 2, which was yesterday, December 17, we covered I walked you through how to put a dollar value on you. I have a 5 steps I walked you through. I also had a lovely surprise guest, Russia, who walked you through how to have a money mindset. It's really important when we're trying to land high-paying salary jobs, we want to earn more in our career, that we have to have the right mindset. 80% of your success is actually heavily dependent on your mindset. 20% is the strategy. Today, I'm going to walk you through how to do market research and how to launch yourself into the market to land those interviews and land the job offer. So today is going to be a lot of stuff we're going to be covering. And then tomorrow I'm going to do a bonus training as well. So let's get into day 3. If you don't already know me, my name is Gurpreet Kaur. I have 20 years of corporate HR experience. I've worked in every area of HR, especially in recruitment and hiring. I've built a lot of processes. I've even done career mapping internally for employees and externally as well. Also, I've been a career coach and job search expert for 15 years. I actually go by Queen of Hidden Job Market is a nickname that has been given to me by many, many people. I'm also been recognized as a top LinkedIn voice for job search strategies. I have been an entrepreneur since 2008 while working full-time in corporate HR. And I've been named top strategies for LinkedIn voice. I've been featured in media such as CBC News, the Global Mail, Wall Street Journal, and on radio, Voice of America. I was on there for 6 months, and then various different podcasts. I've won many different awards. The most admired global Indians for 2021. I was nominated for Women of Influence. This year I won an award for global awards for business development. And one of my recent achievements also was I won an award I was named top 20 women entrepreneurs to look out for in 2024, and recently named as one of the most empowering women leaders from USA 2024. Okay. So let's dive into the third step you have to take if you want to become a top paid professional. You want to land those high paying salary jobs. When I say high paid, I mean 200, 300, 400, 500K, 600, 700, all the way to 900K. And your total compensation can look like $1 million plus. So this training is for for career professionals that are mid-level to senior level. So you have 5 years to 10 years, even 20 plus years. You're looking to transition to higher level roles. You're an executive, you are VP level, you want to move into your SVP or executive level roles. So you're in the right place. This training isn't for new grads or entry level career professionals. So no junior level, but definitely for senior level. And so I just want to make sure that you are in the right place. So today we're going to talk about market research and go-to-market strategies to launching yourself and attracting the right opportunity. Once you're clear on the value you bring to the table, it's time to put it to use. You'll learn how to identify high-paying roles and develop a strategic go-to-market plan to actively attract the best opportunities for you. The one you're ready to move in, not what your bosses or your managers or anyone's telling you. Like, you know yourself better than anybody. You know what role you're capable of moving into and what you want to be in. Today, we're going to focus all on attracting those high paying roles. And in order to do that, you have to have a game plan. So I love this quote that says, solve rich people's problems, they pay better. It is so true. Even in job market, even when we're trying to look for high paying salary jobs, you cannot aim for companies that are not rich in terms of the amount of money they're making in profits. I've compiled a list of 100 companies that are currently making billions of dollars in profits. So revenue minus expenses is profits, right? So if you want to land high-paying roles, job offers like 200, 500K plus, then you have to solve rich companies' problems because they do pay better, right? So companies like Meta, Google, Amazon, Deloitte, Accenture, Pfizer, CVS, IBM, Suncor, Visa, Amex. So I've done extensive research and I compiled a list of 100 companies right now that are making billions of dollars. Okay, billions. So if you want to land high-paying salary jobs, you want to become a top-paid professional in your field, then you have to know which companies to target. You have to. And this is where I find that a lot of people do tend to go wrong. So let's talk about how you've done this and how I've done this for my clients. So meet my client, Nana, who before working with me, she was actually in a role that was underpaying her. And she recognized she's being underpaid for her, based on her skill sets. She had an MBA, SCA, CSM, and PMP, and she was grossly underpaid. Okay. Sorry about that. So me, Nana, she was grossly underpaid. So she knew she's in the wrong role, wrong company, underpaid. She took the leap and joined my coaching program. Within 60 days, she had a complete transformation. Okay, before joining my program, she was struggling to land high-paying salary jobs and was only making around 50K a year though she was highly qualified, had all the right credentials, but was stuck in low-paying roles. Now, after joining my coaching program, she discovered what she was actually an expert in, what her zone of genius was, what she's actually passionate about, the type of work she's passionate about doing, and also learned the things she actually didn't enjoy doing. And she, one of the biggest takeaways from her was that, oh my God, I keep telling employers I can do everything, but yet half of the work she doesn't want to do. So once she discovered what her zone of genius was, where she's actually an expert in and like her craft is, we positioned her as an expert for that. And that was a game changer. She started landing interviews. She actually landed a project with the government, which through a consulting company, and she nearly doubled her salary. And then that was 2022. 2023, she landed a high-paying role with Deloitte. And then this year, she moved into another role with Accenture. So I had a conversation with her and she's like, I am never worried about money. I have more than enough money and I live in a most amazing life and I'm able to provide for me and my family to the point where we don't have to worry about money, right? And this could be you too. But the key here is, so she's enjoying financial freedom. She's enjoying her life. She's never have to worry about money, never have to worry about, can I afford this? So she's enjoying financial freedom. She created that for herself and her family. And so can you. But here's the thing. We have to first understand employers. I've classified and grouped, I built 3 types of employers and I've put them into tiers. So we got top tier, mid tier, and bottom tier. So I want to walk you through each of these tiers. And I want you to take a moment to assess which tier are you in right now. Okay. So top tier employers. These are companies that are making billions of dollars in profits. I mean billions, okay? Profits, not revenues, but profits. But their mindset is this, that they want to hire the best in the field, and also pay them the best money for the skill sets. But they also want to invest in them. So they create a work environment where they're going to thrive. They pay for everything from their lunches, paid gourmet chefs, to even benefits. Everything is covered. So they treat their employees like VIPs because they believe in keeping them. They know if they hire an employee and they're amazing at what they do, they don't want to lose them. So they also build amazing compensation packages from healthcare, dental care, medical insurance. They have full stocked up kitchen, cafe, full paid employees programs, spend tons of money in developing you professionally and personally as well. So these are amazing employers. Now we got the mid-level tier. The mid-level tiers are companies are making multi-millions in profits, multi-dollar million companies, but we're talking about profits here. So we're not talking about revenues. I just want to emphasize this. There are companies that pay the market rate, provide basic, they have some retention, they will pay for basic health and dental, has some basic employee programs. They believe in developing you, but not like a top tier company that will heavily invest in you. So they'll make some investment into professionally develop you. But they also have some budget constraints on how much they're willing to pay. Now, the bottom tier, I call these low-level employers. I also call them Mickey Mouse employers. These are companies that are barely making $1 million in profits. They actually pay low wages compared to the first 2 tiers. They believe in wanting the best, but they also are penny crunchers who will nickel and dime you. And they also don't provide any source of professional development. They have toxic work environments. Cheap employers don't offer much in total comp, may offer some medical, or have a program like you pay half, they pay half. And usually have toxic work environments like bosses, micromanagers. Leaders are also not great at these companies. So which tier do you fall in? Let me know in the comment section, what tier do you fall in? It's really important to recognize the tier level that you're falling into currently, or what tier companies you've already worked in. Now, so let's take a moment. And if you want to make a major shift in your career, you do have to recognize the type of tier level that you're currently in and the tier level you want to work in, right? So when you work with me, forget working with me, what I want to instill in you is, if forget about even money for a second, you want to work for top tier companies because the work environment's great. They invest a lot of money in providing the best facilities for their employees, providing the best work culture, having the best leaders. They treat the employees VIP from day one, not from day one. Okay, they have work flexibilities. You possibly can work from remote. Like you have to understand the type of work environment you want to work in. You can have the most amazing role and the most amazing pay, but if the work environment isn't set up for you to thrive in, it doesn't matter, right? So not only do we want the high paying salary jobs, but we also want to work in companies with co-workers, with bosses and leaders where we thrive under. I think it's the most crucial part. I work in HR for 20 years and I cannot emphasize this more than enough how important it is to assess companies, work environments, leaders. You have to be able to identify the work environment you're going to thrive in. And I see this one common mistake that no one is identifying when they're starting to look for job opportunities. They're not taking the moment to identify the type of companies, the type of work environment, type of managers and bosses and colleagues they want to work for, and in what environment capacity will you thrive in. Psychologically, you want to feel safe psychologically as well. So that's what to me is really important. And I do believe in the elements. Like I've worked for all three tier levels, and I found the top tier is always has the best of the best available. Again, I'm speaking from my experience. I'm not saying some of you may not have had bad experience even working for top tier companies. So something that be mindful of, okay? Now you know which tier you want to work for, okay? I'm going to tell you to go for top tier. Now, how do we land interviews and get in front of the right people to land interviews and land job offers with these top tier? Number one thing we have to do is identify the companies that have the problem that you're an expert in solving. So if you remember day one, the first homework, the first exercise I signed, one of the exercises I signed you for homework was to help you identify what you're an expert in, what type of problems you're an expert in solving. If you remember the PCSRB formula, now we're going to use that into play. Once you know what problems you're an expert in solving, the next step is to identify which companies have the problems that you are an expert in. So this is where we do have to do deep dive research, extensive, thorough research to identify these companies who already have the problems you are an expert in solving. Okay, so that's what the first step is, to identify these companies. Step two is we want to do is now first step is to identify the companies who have the problems you're willing to solve and are willing to pay you top dollars to solve it. So that's first step. If you've downloaded the workbook, so I already have a workbook for this where I've also actually included 100 companies' names, and they're broken down based on industry. So use that as your guide. Use my workbook as a guide to help you narrow down which companies that are top tiers, because I focus on working only in top tiers. This will help you identify which companies and the companies who have money to pay you top dollars. You cannot be a top paid professional if you're not working for companies who have the monies. And company who's making like 23 billions of dollars in profits, they have the means and funds to pay you top dollars, okay? So next step is research. So we want to do research to identify the current problems the companies you identify in step one. Step two is now let's do a deep dive research to identify and uncover what's their current problems, what current challenges that they are facing, what are the immediate problems that they need solved. This is where we want to do a deep dive research. You want to use Google as your best. One of the tools you can use is Google. Second tool you can use is industry insights. Third tool you can use is podcasts that are based on the industry. So listen to podcasts. You'd be amazed how much information people are dishing out on podcasts. You can use Reddit forums. You can also, if the company's posted jobs and they're hiring for a role you're looking for, job posting also actually does tell you what current problems they're dealing with. It's a mechanism you have to use, is reverse engineer. So when you look at the job posting, you have to reverse engineer it to understand and be able to read between the lines to discover what problems the companies have. And this is something I do help my clients do because I work in HR and I know how to, I written tons of thousands of job descriptions. Do I can tell you by one look, I can identify what the company's problems and challenges they're facing that they want this person coming into this role to solve. So that's one clue as well. Third step is we want to identify who is the decision maker. When a lot of people, when they tend to start looking for job opportunities, they're chasing recruiters in HR. And it blows my mind. I work in HR for 20 years and I can tell you I'm not a decision maker. I am doing the legwork. Yes, I'm doing a legwork for the hiring manager, for the decision maker, right? So screening resumes, putting the job description up, posting it, sourcing talent, finding the talent that they're looking for, shortlist them, interview them. But I'm not the decision maker. I don't make the final decision on who gets hired. The hiring manager, the head of the department, the person who's hiring for the team, they decide who gets hired. So what we want to do is you want to go straight to the source. So cut out the middle person. In sales training, this is the first thing they teach salespeople is stop wasting your time with the middleman, middle person, and go straight to the one who holds all the powers in decision making. So this is a sales strategy that I use is you got to cut out the middle person. Okay. And also what you want to do is once you identify who the decision maker is, you want to follow them across all social media platforms. See if they have been interviewed on podcasts, been guests on any podcast, comment on their social media posts because everybody nowadays have a digital imprint, footprint on digital, right? So leverage all the tools that are freely available to you to do this. And the key is we want to build that relationship. So in sales, we learn the first step is to create awareness about you. Step 2 is to engage. And step 3 is nurture. These are the most top 3 steps that are important. So when you find out who is the decision maker, you're able to now create awareness about you by engaging with their post, with their content. So that's engagement. Third is we want to nurture that. So we don't want to just do it one-off time. You want to now become their raving fan so they know you. And trust me, people do this with me and I do this with people. And I've met so many great people through this whole process. Okay. Now, let me dive deep into hiring managers is a buyer. So I want to use psychology here. So in sales, we learn about buyer psychology, and the same is true for hiring psychology. So this is all based on psychology. So I'm now using methods that are backed by science. When it comes to hiring manager, the decision maker, they're actually the buyer, right? So they're in the market to buy. What they're in the market to buy is particular skill sets, a particular type of individual that's going to get them results that they want, also fix their problems. So they have a need, and you are the solution to that need. So let me walk you through higher psychology, again, backed by science. The hiring manager, decision maker has a pain, right? They're in pain, they have a problem. And that's why we did the research to disclose, to undiscover what's that problem they have. But we really want to find out that pressing pain, that urgent pain. There's different degrees of pain, right? So we want to really target on the urgent pain that they need right away to get solved, and they can't avoid any pain or loss anymore. Second is they're looking for a solution. They're looking for a solution to solve their pain, get rid of the pain, get rid of the problem, and then they want results. The third is results, right? They already know the results they're looking for. The results they want when they solve that problem. So when it comes to, if you want to really get someone's attention, you really want to like land those interviews, you got to understand higher psychology. There's a pain, the desired solution, and the results is what they're looking for. You have to understand these three things. When you understand these three things, trust me, this is a game changer. And you're no longer going to come from elevator pitches, too busy trying to pitch yourself from, I have this year's experience, these are my strengths, these are my skills, these are my credentials. Those are gone now, right? Now you're seen as an expert, and the person who you're speaking to sees you as an expert, because what do experts do? They know your problems better than you know it. And that's how you want to come across to these decision makers. So you want to touch on their pain, touch on the pain, right? And you got their attention. Your message to the decision makers should be about them and not about you. This is where my PCSRB formula comes really in handy: the pain, the cost, solution, results, and benefits. So now once we know what their pain is, we also know what it's costing them to have this pain. And they want a desired solution. So we know we have a solution to their problem, and we know the results that solution is going to get. When we implement that solution, we already know the results it's going to get, because we've done this multiple times in multiple organizations and different roles we've worked in. Lastly, now we want to tie it back to the benefit. So it's like, okay, I can get you these results, but this is how you're going to benefit from it. So pain, cost, solution, results, and benefit. And the biggest key is, when you're trying to get a decision maker's attention, the most powerful thing and the key is in the messaging. The messaging. So attention span, today, the world we live in, the attention span is less than 5 seconds in today's world. So you have less than 5 seconds to grab someone's attention. What I just walked you through will grab people's attention. Not elevator pitches. Elevator pitches are dead. They're dead. Anyone that's going to tell you need to have an elevator pitch, I'm telling you, they don't know what they're talking about. A lot of people are too busy teaching old school methods that actually don't work in the environment in today's world. Today's world is so different from 2000. Before we had smartphones, before we had social media, people's attention spans were not less than 5 seconds. People's attention spans were much better. But now we got cell phones, we got smartphones, where it's got social media, our phones, ping, ping, ping. We are constantly distracted. So elevator pitches don't work in today's world. So it's really important that you do not use old school method to land interviews, because the world's changed, guys. The world has changed, and it blows my mind how many people are still teaching old way of job searching that actually doesn't work in today's world. This is why you're struggling in your job search. This is why you can't land interviews. It's not because the market is slow. It's not because, oh my God, there's tech layoffs. It's not because, we had recession and then there's layoffs, that the market's so bad, no one's hiring. That is all BS. You're not struggling because the job market's bad. You're struggling simply because you've been taught wrong how to job search. People are still teaching job search the way I learned it in 1996 when I was in high school, 16-year-old in a cold class, teacher teaching me how to write a resume, how to go about the job market. Those times worked, but we're in a whole different world today. We got so many different technologies, so many different distractions around us. And this is how my client landed a role of $200K in just 6 weeks. 6 weeks. When he came to me and worked with me, he was only looking at 150K to 170K, because in his mindset was, oh my God, the market's so bad, tech layoffs happen, so I should just play it safe and land 150 to 170K. I get a lot of people I speak to, everyone's playing it safe now because they believe the market is bad and no companies are hiring. And in 6 weeks, my client landed a 200K role with CIBC, a top bank. but the key was we positioned him as an expert. So he's a project management and program manager. We didn't say, oh, I'm an expert in a project management program manager. We actually, when he completed a PCSRB a workbook, I was able to identify what he was an expert in. What he is an expert in as a program manager / project manager was reducing project delays and cost overruns by $700K plus dollars. And he also worked on $1 million projects, and he had a proven system. So we positioned him as an expert who is an expert in reducing project delays and cost overruns by $700K plus using his proven 7-figure project management method. So now see the positioning and the messaging is so different. So the key to today's world, if you want to land job opportunities in today's world and you want to get paid top dollars, you have to know how to communicate in today's world. Okay. So now we move into the last phase of today's session, which is the go-to market, which is brand positioning. You have to position yourself as an expert in solving a particular problem. Okay. So I'll help you craft a resume that doesn't just get read, but gets you interviews. And I'm also going to help you customize your LinkedIn profile so that recruiters are chasing you and you're not chasing recruiters. Also, headhunters are chasing you for those high-paying salary roles. You'll be positioned as an expert that companies want to hire, and they're chasing you. Okay, so when it comes to marketing, you have to have 3 things in place. You have to have a cover letter that's pain point based. Okay, so it's not cover letters that introduce yourself, soft selling, talking about yourself. Okay, we don't talk about ourselves in cover letters, by the way. Again, I tell you the pain. So we gotta hit them on the pain. So as it be a pain point based cover letter, we have to craft a resume that is interview worthy resume that's gonna land you jobs. And then we gotta create your LinkedIn profile to be recruiter magnetic, and meaning they're attracting recruiters to come to you. Now, I'm going to walk you through some key elements when it comes to resumes. A resume should tell the employer the value you bring to the table, the problems you're an expert in solving, the results you 100% guarantee can deliver, and how the company benefit from you, and the ROI the company's going to get from you being in this role. So you got to spell out the money. ROI is when a company is hiring, they're making an investment. And what happens with investment is that we want to make a return on the investment, right? So the 8 key elements your resume must have for it to be interview worthy resume is number 1 is scroll stopper. Your resume has 5 seconds to grab a reader's attention. So first impressions matter, especially in a crowded job market. You got 5 seconds to make it count. Your resume presentation needs to be sharp. Your resume presentation does have to have like a wow factor to it that right away grabs the reader's attention. You have to have a compelling scroll stopping headline on your resume that right away grabs attention. Okay. If it doesn't, sadly, people are going to move on to the next resume. Okay. So that's scroll stopper. Second thing is you have to communicate your value. So you have to define your unique selling proposition. What makes you different? What sets you apart from your competition and other candidates? In a competitive market, you need to spell this out really clearly in a language that the reader understands. Okay, you need to spell it out. Show how you save time, cut costs, how you deliver results. So pro tip here is people value money, time, results, savings. So show them what you got. I have a formula that I teach my clients on how to determine their value. So it's money plus time plus savings. So I do teach this on a deeper level. And then the language. You got to speak in the hiring manager's language, in their lingual, not your lingual, this is when the content becomes really, really important. Okay. Do you guys speak their language? You got to address their pain points, what's important to them. So it's really important to be in alignment with the hiring manager's needs and wants and speak in their language. Storytelling. Now, storytelling is a game changer. When we can craft resumes that do tell a story, it's going to keep the person's attention. So we want to grab attention, but we also want to keep their attention long enough for them to want to take action to call us for interviews. So storytelling is a method that is a game changer when it comes to writing resumes. So numbers are great ways to tell a story. So you use numbers to tell a story. Help recruiters when you're telling a story, the reader has to be able to visualize the impact as they're reading. So that's where the storytelling art comes into play. Someone should be able to read and understand and also be able to visualize exactly what you're saying. And this is how you're going to stand out. Okay. So next thing is the transformation. So number 5 is transformation. Your resume also has to communicate under your experience, you have to show the transformational stories. Okay, so one way to do this is before and after. So what was it before and what is it after? And this is a great way to use Matrix. So make sure you're telling those transformational stories using Matrix and it's before and after. The other thing we have to do is now human beings are driven by emotions. So now we got to do 3 things here. We got to tap into the emotions. So number 1 emotion we want the reader to feel when they're reading our resume is, oh my God, OMG. Move the reader to the emotion of that. Move them. They invoke that emotion that, oh my God, this is the most amazing person I have ever come across. You're the most amazing candidate I've ever come across. This is the person, oh my God, we need. So the oh my God has to be there. The next emotion we want to invoke is FOMO, fear of missing out. Oh my God, if I don't call this person right now for an interview, I'm going to lose them, right? They're not going to be available. Somebody else is going to pick them up. So we have to create the urgency and we also have to create the fear because, again, human beings are driven by emotions. So feelings, we have to invoke these emotions and feelings in the reader. Lastly, we want to create raving fans. So, for example, for recruiters reading your resume, we want to turn the recruiter HR in a raving fan so that they will go and pitch you to the hiring manager. So they're going to do the job for you. Like I've hired so many people in HR for 20 years. I have 20 years of recruitment experience. I can tell you when a candidate moved me, I became their raving fan that I was pitching them like no tomorrow to the hiring manager, basically convincing them that they have to meet this candidate. So that's what you want to do with recruiters as well. Okay. So let me show you how a 6-figure resume and a LinkedIn profile needs to look like. But do you want to see one? Tell me in the comment sections. So when I teach resume writing, I give a copy of a resume. I actually use copywriting techniques in writing a resume. And also I have studied a lot of experts in psychology on how to create a scannable copy, a scannable resume. So remember that you have 5 seconds to grab a reader's attention. So it's really important on how we position our resumes and how we position the content of our resume. So if you look at this resume without even reading it, it's so easy to scan it. Scannable. That's why you have that power headline. You underneath the title of an expert like SVP. So this is one of my clients' resumes. I have removed their information to protect their privacy. So you have that first line that really indicates their SVP for business development. Then the next power statement, that's a scroll stopping statement of building high performing sales team and boosting revenues by 300 something million dollars. And that's a scroll stopping statement. Then we move into your unique value proposition statement, which is kind of broken down to 3 little paragraphs, and then few things that are bolded. Then we run into skills table, which this resume is ATS friendly, by the way. So that's why we don't put a table, because some ATS even today cannot read tables and columns. So it's an ATS friendly version. When it comes to your experience section, for this one, we state the company name, the month and year they worked in, the title, but then we have another scroll stopping statement, one big achievement they accomplished in this role, and then a couple of sentences which we put in a paragraph to explain what their responsibility in the role is. And then we use bullets to tell stories of accomplishments. So I'm just showing the first page to show you. So this is based from psychology and copywriting and making this resume easy to scan. I know a lot of recruiters will tell you, oh, we want this, but this resume is designed based on psychology and making it easy to scan based on a human eye. This is how human beings scan. So when you just use one type of format where you put everything in bullets, it's not easy to scan for a human being, right? A lot of people cannot tell you this, that this is why your resume needs to look like this, because people don't understand psychology enough. And I have studied psychology. I have worked with copywriting experts. I've learned from the best to tell you this is a scannable resume, okay? Now, here's one of my clients we did before and after. This is how her LinkedIn, I just took the first piece of her LinkedIn, and this is the transformation after when she joined my program. So do you see a major difference in her presentation? She's showing up as $1 million bucks. You also want to present yourself. Your LinkedIn has to be $1 million bucks. If you want to land those high paying salary jobs, you got to look the part, right? We can't want high paying salary jobs, but then we don't even, our LinkedIn persona isn't $1 million, right? She was blown away, this client of mine, with just simple minor tweaks she made. She didn't do full-fledged tweaks the way I taught her, but she started implementing few things. She was blown away. How many recruiters started reaching out to her? She was blown away to the point she never had to apply to jobs because recruiters kept reaching out to her for the right roles that she wanted. That's the power in LinkedIn that we want to capitalize on. So let me walk you through how the job market actually looks like. 10% of roles are available with recruitment agencies. 20% of the roles are available on the job postings, all the different job portals. 70% of hiring actually happens pre-hiring, pre-job posting, aka known as the hidden job market. It's really important to understand the job market so you understand where your attention needs to go and where you will get the maximum results for your time. I see a lot of people wasting their time with job postings, which only makes about the 20% of a job market. Okay. One of the quick, dirty ways you can land interviews is similar to what I already taught you. You got to identify the urgent problem and challenge a company is facing, the hiring decision makers facing. One thing we also want to do is a SWOT analysis. Compare them to their competitors. You need to know the top 2-3 competitors are and do a SWOT analysis. And then you're going to find out so many information by doing this. You're going to know how this company stack up against their competitors, what's missing, where's the opportunities for improvement. That's what SWOT analysis is: strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. And then you'll be able to have a solution for them to fix their problems and how to also dominate in the market and beat their competition. And this is when you do this and then you reach out to decision maker, you're going to get the call. You're going to get the call. Okay, and the key is in the messaging. Now your messaging is going to be so different. You're not going to be doing elevator pitches. You're not going to be talking by yourself. You're going to actually reach out to them and say, hey, you know what? Through my research of your company, I discover X problem. Are you facing this problem? It's a question. What I teach is when you're going to do cold reaching, you actually want the message to ask a question. When you ask a question, it prompts the person to reply back to answer the question. So it's a question strategy that I use. One of the strategies I use. This is actually one of the quickest ways that you can land interviews. I call this my quick, dirty way to land interviews fast. Implement this, and I guarantee you're going to start landing interviews. Okay, so this comes to the end of today's day 3 of 4 days career breakthrough challenge. Do you have any questions? Let me know in the comment section. If you have any questions, please type them and I'll be happy to answer them. Mustafa from Algeria, a field service. Welcome, Mustafa. Okay, do you have any questions for me? I don't see any questions. Okay, please go get the workbooks. I'm going to drop the link, download the workbook. Here's the link to download the workbooks. You can also get access to all the replays of this training. So I've dropped it in the comment section. And if you have any questions, please feel free to DM me. Unfortunately, I cannot accept any more connection requests because I've maxed out. LinkedIn has a limit of how many connections. So I have passed the limit. I have $30,000, not $30,000, 30,000. I've maxed out on 30,000 connections. So I cannot accept any more connections. What you want to do is with your connection requests, add a note so that I'll be able to reply back to the note. So if anytime as you're going through this training with me, if you have any questions, please hit me up or email me. If you downloaded the workbook, you will also get access to my email. You'll have my email, so you'll be able to email me as well. So thank you so much for tuning in. Tomorrow is day 4. And we're going to be starting at the same time. And I have a bonus training tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to walk you through the 5 types of recruiters and hiring managers that you need to impress and how to impress them so that you land those interviews and how to build relationships with them. So tune in for a bonus training. And I will be doing Q&A as well. So same time, 6 p.m. Pacific time, Eastern time. Join me for the last training in this 4-day career challenge. Also, please reach out to me and let me know, how are you finding this career challenge? I would love to get some insights from you. I would love to get your feedback. How are you finding it? What are some of the things you would love for me to teach more of? Please shoot me an email, shoot me a DM, and tell me, how are you finding this training so far? And I'll see you. Okay, so thank you so much for being with me. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you so much.